Birtles here again for Rolling with the Punches. We're on episode 8 now, and I'm delighted to say that we're joined by Team GB's very own JP Omeara. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, all good, thank you. All good, thank you.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Are you up in Sheffield at the moment?
No, I've just got back home now from my first camp. Come back on Saturday evening.
How have you found up there? Really good, or?
Yeah, it's been like an eye opener really to see like how good it really is, and to train alongside the best in the country. So really good. It was tough. Like body's feeling it now. So I've had a couple had Sunday off and today off. But yeah, really good up there.
Wicked. I guess we'll just start from the beginning, mate, really. And I just want to hear a bit about your amateur career and where it all began for you and stuff. And I suppose the best place to start really is how you found boxing and where it all started.
Yeah. Well, when I was growing up, it was mainly football. I'm sure most kids are the same. But I was playing football, enjoying that. And then one of my mates used to just go to a local gym, just right 5 minutes around the corner from me. And it was funny enough, it was my mum who actually took me, because my mate's mum was obviously my mum's mate. So we just went, and I went to where my dad used, because my dad used to be a boxer. But when I was 9 or 10, I didn't really, he was a boxer, but it weren't but he was a boxer from the gym that I went to. So then I went for a couple of weeks with my mum. And then my dad just thought, my dad didn't think I'd stick at it. So one day he did come along, and he realised that I weren't, I was actually quite good at it. It sort of come natural. So we went, stayed there for a bit, and then when we went to another gym, Hooks, Steve Newland. So really good gym. I'd done most of my schoolboys and juniors with Steve. Had tons of fights with him. And then moved on to Del Youth with Mick Delaney, and I ain't just been there since, really.
What year did you join Del Youth, mate? Which year was it?
I'm not sure what year, but I was about 15. I was about 16 coming into year 11. But because I left Hooks because I thought I thought it was more of the gym. I wasn't enjoying it, but later on I found out it's just I wasn't enjoying boxing. So I was at Del Youth for a year, and then I don't know, I wasn't loving it really. So sort of sat down with Mick, and he said just have a year out. I was 16, so I'm in year 11, and I think it was more just missing out, typical teenager in year 11, missing out on parties and everything. So sort of had a year or so out, come back and stuck with it since, really. I think it was the best thing I'd done.
And were you there when obviously the sadly Grenfell Tower disaster happened?
Yeah.
How was that period for you, and how was that period for people in the gym?
It was tough because obviously we were there Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday mornings. But for my brother, he was a boxer as well. I didn't go that night, but that night it happened. My brother, but it was just a normal day training. So, and then obviously come home and wake up to see that, it was tough for Del Youth.
Yeah, and then I guess you've had George Groves come out from the gym. Obviously James DeGale, Daniel Dubois was there for a period of time. Yourself, even. What do you think so special about that gym? Is it Mick in particular, or what do you think so special about it?
Yeah, that's the reason why I moved, because I knew Mick. Mick's produced untold champions, not just George Groves, James DeGale. You got untold. You got Deion Jumah, another main one. But there's so many ABA champions that he's produced. So I think it's more Mick and what he's done, sort of thing. Really, that's brought more good fighters to him.
How many bouts did you have with Del Youth, obviously, before you got picked for England? What was the sort of the time scale of it?
I would say I had about, it's hard to say really, but I would say around 30 fights with Del Youth. And that, to be honest, I didn't. I'd say 20 to 30, and I didn't lose many. I could pick a handful that I lost. not just because of that, but like, I don't know. But yeah, I didn't lose many, so it was good times.
And then obviously you boxed for England, didn't you? Did you box Germany, was it? Or
Yeah, I boxed for. So I got to the ABA finals. That's what got me onto England squad. Had a couple of training camps, and I got selected to box against Germany. And then I beat that was my England debut basically, and I won.
And then obviously the Team GB assessment came next, I'm guessing. And and how was that whole experience? Was the assessment quite tough, or did you settle into it okay?
No, it was not gonna say it was easy, but it probably it was like sort of the nerves was like a fight really, because it's like it is life changing, like. So it was tough, but obviously there was a lot of nerves going into it, and it was because of lockdown. It was just after like when it sort of happened, we got the assessments. It was sort of through lockdown, so we didn't have the best of training. Like we would be going to the gym all the time, so it was hard, but I got through it and eventually.
And now you're obviously with Team GB. Are you with the Podium Potential squad? Is it now, or how's the progression work?
Yeah, so it's Podium Potential, and then obviously Podium's the main squad.
And what are you targeting then? Are you targeting sort of the 2022 Commonwealths next?
Obviously you've got this year's Olympics, but they're qualified. Well, the geezer at my weight, Peter McGrail, he's already qualified, but you've got the Commonwealths, and then you've got the Olympics after. So I've got two major tournaments to look sort of for the future. Obviously, there's so many more tournaments along the way, but the two main ones are Commonwealth and Olympics.
And are you boxing at 56 or 60, or what's the weight you're boxing at the moment?
Under 57 kilos.
Under 57, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you got any? Is that where you're going to stay now all through these games, or do you think you might fluctuate a little bit?
At the minute, it's obviously 57, but like I'm 21 years of age, so I'll probably grow out of it the time Olympics comes. I can't really tell, but at the minute, I'm sitting comfortable at 57.
And in terms of the facilities at Sheffield in the Institute of Sport, how are they? Because from what I've seen, obviously clips of it, it looks like a really resourced gym.
When I got there, it was like wow, like it's on another level. There's no excuse why you can't be the best. Like everything's set out for you. All you got to do really is turn up and perform, because they've got there's stuff there like that I noticed on the weekend that I didn't even think. And like sports psychology, you've got stuff. Obviously, you've got your strength coach, you've got a nutritionist, you've got physio there all the time. You've just got so many things. It's amazing, just crazy, really. Yeah. It's
what trainers are down there? Is it Richie Woodall, or is there anyone you've come across of any note?
Obviously, you've got the main ones. Robert McCracken, he's like the head of GB, but there's so many boxing coaches. To be honest, I don't really know many of their names because there's so many. Obviously, you'll get to know them along the way, but there's the team really of just GB boxing, because they've done an induction. It's massive.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, so much to see. Have you come across AJ at all? Speaking of Rob McCracken up there.
Yeah. My first assessment just before his last fight, he was just literally finishing training. So I got to quickly grab a photo with him. So yeah, he's real nice geezer. But obviously, I'll be seeing him more often, I guess. Being up there.
I suppose the good thing about that is just like being around people like that, and people at that level must just improve your game so much, and getting to watch them train and go through the paces.
Yeah, exactly. Like just not even obviously Anthony Joshua's a bonus, but just training alongside other, because it's like you're no mug to be on Team GB. Like everyone there is at the top of the game. So obviously a local, you're not just that, but Bell U, for example, you've got beginners, you've got novices, then you've got like you'll be lucky to have a handful of elites in the boxing gym, but on Team GB you're just surrounded by top fighters. So it brings your game up as well.
Yeah, that's got to be the biggest thing up there. And then obviously just sort of finally on your career, what are your thoughts for the future and turning pro? Because there's a lot said for potentially burning out a little bit just in the amateurs?
Yeah.
When would you look to sort of turn pro?
Obviously, I'm only 21. I'm still young, so I've got a lot of time ahead of me. But the Olympics is it's only 3 years away, because they're not doing a 4 years. So I think it's just 3 years from, obviously, because of this delay. But I'll definitely want to hopefully try and do the Olympics, and then probably go from there, really, because I'll still only be 24, 25. So I think, I'd say probably that 24, 25, I'll start looking to turn pro. I think that's a good age where I've learned a lot off GB, the experience, fighting all different countries, different styles, develop as myself as a person and physically.
And I'm guessing your end goal is going to be a world title, isn't it? Or is there something you've got sort of a bit more short term your eyes on, like the Lonsdale belt?
The main goal, obviously, I think with most boxers is being a world champion. But even before I got onto GB, it was never the Olympics. Like, I'm not going to sit there and say I wanted to be on GB. It was more world champion. So the main goal at the end is world champion, but I've got a lot more to do before that.
And obviously, like, sponsorship must be huge right now for you, and just trying to secure a bit of that. And how are you getting on with that? Has it been tough?
It's luckily I've got 3 sponsors at the minute. That I've got Elam Roof in there helping me a lot, Box Clever and Boxing BOS. So without them, it would be a lot harder. So they are making my life a lot easier for myself to train like basically full time really now.
And you obviously have a bit of a personal relationship, I guess, with Deion Jumah. I just wanted to get your take on sort of, obviously, I was unlucky for him to have to pull out recently, but do you think he wins that fight with Chris Billingsmith? Because it's something we've talked a lot of on this podcast.
Deion Jumah, I think he's world level. Obviously, he's got to prove himself and everything, but watching him when I was young, like southpaw, I'm a southpaw as well. I do think he is like world class. Obviously, he's just got to prove it on the stage, but I do think he beats him. But he's obviously just got to get that breakthrough, sort of. To prove he is up there, because I don't think he has that bit where he's proved himself yet. But I think when he does, I think he will show who he is. Yeah,
I think it just takes that one career-defining fight, doesn't it? Really,
exactly.
Just one to
he just needs to get that fight just to prove he is up there, and then I think he will smash it.
Was there anyone else at Del Youth that sort of turned pro now that you came across back in the day, or?
Also, you got that Daniel Dubois. He was around Del Youth when we were there. Deion Jumah is probably the main one, really. Also, you've got other fighters, but they're not, I wouldn't say. Well, you've got a few other fighters, but I would say Deion Jumah is the main one.
And could you tell sort of like they were on that level when you saw them in the gym back in the day? Was there a big golfing class? Could you always tell that they were?
Yeah, like the Del Youth produced so many good fighters that didn't even turn pro. Like, so you can see who would be capable of turning pro and everything. So you can sort of see that sort of change and everything.
Wicked. And just a generic question to finish that we ask all our guests. It's basically just AJ versus Fury. Obviously, looks like it's signed and to go for the summer. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Who wins that fight for you and how?
It's a really, really good fight, but I just think Tyson Fury, I think, just wins it just because of his style. I don't think anyone can beat that sort of style, just constantly feinting. He's tall, awkward. So I just think Tyson Fury with just that awkward style just beats him. But obviously, if Joshua wins, it's not a shock. Joshua's up there as well. So it is a really close 50-50, but I'd have to just sway towards Tyson Fury.
Yeah, it's a tough one to call. And finally, Billy Joe Saunders versus Canelo. Do you think Billy's got enough to beat him?
I don't think he's got enough. Billy Joe Saunders, skillful, really, really skillful, but I think it'll give him early on. It'll be awkward for Canelo just to get sort of used to the southpaw style and everything and his movement. But I think he gets him late on stoppage, probably a body shot as well. I'd say that Canelo's different level Canelo.
Yeah, is there any fighters you sort of look up to and look to at the moment in and around super lightweight, welterweight, somewhere in there?
I'm not a person who, not that I don't look, because I'm not a person who go, I look up to, but I would have to say fighting wise, who I sort of like to watch and everything, I'd say Josh Taylor's probably my favourite at the minute, and being a southpaw as well, just like me. So yeah, probably Josh Taylor, and you obviously got Canelo. Lomachenko's obviously up there, I'd say, as well. So yeah, probably them sort of three.
Well, listen, JP, it's been brilliant talking to you, mate, and I can't wait to see what happens, and we'll be following your career in the future, and best of luck, mate. So cheers.
Thank you, mate. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks a lot, mate.
Top man.
Cheers.